The Builder by Walsh of Menai 2234. Narrated by Lex Marinos. He was devastated when he saw the for sale sign go up next door, although he knew it was coming. Good neighbours and good friends had decided it was time to cash in and finally get that beachside cottage up the coast that they'd always talked about. But he couldn't blame them. He resisted the developer sniffing around who wanted to buy both properties to build townhouses. This was his house, he had built it, and he wasn't moving. But he was worried about what would happen with next door. Maybe a duplex. In the end, it went to a young couple, so he was relieved. That was until the noise and mayhem of moving in day. So many people, so many cars, so much confusion. Was this the sign of things to come? And what nationality are they? Certainly not real Australian, as there's a strange mix of Arabic and Asians in the assisting crowd. What a mixture! He found out the following day when there was a knock on the door, and there they stood. Him, the Arab, and her, the Asian, plus a kid. Turns out he is Mikhail, but call me Mick, of Turkish descent, and she's Kim, of Vietnamese origin, but who was born just down the road at the local hospital, as was the toddler, who's an absolute cutie. But Turkey and Vietnam? Didn't we fight wars against them and lose? Still, these two seem really nice. Mick even follows the Dragons, and she's into the Swans, both of which are his teams as well, so he's happy. For the next month or so, there are the usual waves and brief conversations over the fence, or when they cross paths out the front or at the shops. Friendly, but not too friendly. Then, notification of the house extension was received. The young couple want to put a few additional rooms out the back and need his approval. He gives this willingly, but then later regrets his quick decision-making. Mick is acting as owner-builder and has his cousins and a few mates around one weekend to get the build going. The noise, confusion and general disruption is many times worse than that painful moving-in day. Our man just bunkers down in the lounge room, tries to watch the footy and races, which is very challenging, with a full-blown worksite in action just metres away. It wasn't a good weekend. He popped his head over on the Monday morning to have a gander at the completed work and wasn't impressed. Mick invited him to show off the completed piers, which are his pride and joy, but our man had concerns they won't pass that afternoon's council inspection. He was right. He hears raised voices for the first time as Kim advises Mick that he needs to get professionals involved, as she wouldn't trust him to build a decent structure if it was made from Lego. Our man thinks she's probably right. He catches Mick's eye later that day and offers to provide some assistance if needed as, after all, he was a fully licensed builder for over 30 years. Mick's mood transitions from depression to elation in a moment, and soon Kim is out the back meeting their new consultant. She is very relieved. 2 weeks later, new piers are passed by the inspector, one of our man's old mates, and work on the timber work has commenced. Friends and family are still involved, but our man is the foreman, and everyone does what they're told. Our man feels alive again, for the first time since he lost his wife. And the rewards he's receiving. Kim is providing dinner a couple of times a week, dishes he can't pronounce, but which taste great. And sometimes it's her mother or Mick's who knock on the door to deliver some fine-smelling, tasty offering as a way of saying, thanks for all your help. His mates start joking that he's putting on a few pounds, around the gut from all this foreign tucker, which he knows is rubbish because he's feeling as fit as a mallee bull again, being back on the tools. He knows they are just jealous. The extension is soon finished and signed off, so, of course, there's a huge party to thank all the helpers. Our man is the guest of honour. The party becomes a celebration when Mick announces that one of the new rooms will have to be a nursery, as baby number 2 is on the way. Our man is looking for a bit of rest after completing the extension, but one of Mick's aunties propositioned him into helping her out with a kitchen makeover. This keeps him busy for a month or so and earns him a few dollars on the side, plus too many meals and bottles of wine to recall. Then her neighbour needs advice on a pergola that's showing signs of tiredness. Of course he helps her out. 9 months later, and our man finally finds time in his busy schedule to go up the coast and visit his old neighbours in their beachside paradise. He even takes a friend with him, Mick's auntie, who turns out to also be a widow. He tells his mates she's just a good friend, which they laugh at, as they know his ute is parked outside her place from Friday to Monday most weeks. He still struggles with the pronunciation of most of the dishes he now consumes, but has become a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to kebabs, koftas and baklava. His favourite, however, is Kim's mother's rich pho, which she makes especially for him. He just doesn't tell Mick's auntie this. The end.